delighted we were joined by the man who knows everything there is to know about South American football. Tim Vickery joins us live from Rio de Janeiro. Tim, how are you?
I'm very well, very well. Looking forward to kicking the ball around over the next few minutes with your illustrious selves. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Oh, great, Tim. Good to have you on board, mate. Tim, here's the thing. As Argentina prepare to face the experienced Croats, is the Messi story the most convincing story left here at this Qatar World Cup?
No, there's lots of narratives flying around, aren't there? There's so many narratives. You know, Morocco and Africa and the Middle East and the Arab world. That's a story. Mbappe, the closest thing perhaps we've ever seen to Pelé, while the great man is not in the greatest of health, and Modric on the other side. So this nation of 4 million who are within reach of a second consecutive World Cup final. So wherever you look, there's a fabulous storyline. But obviously, one of the big ones is Lionel Messi, and it is probably the highlight of what I ludicrously call my career. The fact that I got a chance to see him first. South American Under-20 Championship, Colombia, start of 2005. I was up there for it, and Argentina had called up this little 17-year-old who no one knew anything about. He played one friendly for Barcelona. Argentina didn't know much about him, but they knew that Spain wanted him, and they knew that potentially there was something special there. So let's have him, right? Let's have him. Let's bring him in. And the other players are 19 and twice as tall as he is. And you looked at him and you thought, well, look at him. He looks like the pigeon-toed run to the litter. There's nothing going to happen there. As soon as he got on the ball, all of us knew that we were in the presence of something very, very special. And all these years later, that something very, very special is now 2 games away from crowning his career with the World Cup. So it's a fabulous story, but there are other stories in the shop as well.
Absolutely. Talking about something special, Tim, I bumped into Gabriel Batistuta, who was a special player in his time when I was in Qatar. And it was very, very quickly we get into the topic of Messi. Have a listen.
We all are waiting for Messi. We want him winning the World Cup. He needed it, he deserved it, so everybody supported him.
Do you think this is his time? This is Messi's time to lift the World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. We saw it before, so we are convinced.
Yes.
Now that he's our, he can get it finally. We hope it.
If Argentina win in Qatar, will it be like when Maradona and Argentina won it in Mexico in '86? Will the country go crazy?
Argentina is going to be crazy everywhere, in every way. So it's the same for us if we win in Argentina, in Italy, or we just want to win. We play for that.
So, I mean, Tim, according to Batistuta, sure, memory goes back to '86. The thought of Messi lifting it now, compared to the time that Maradona did in '86, is a very vivid comparison, isn't it? And they base their hopes on this, I think.
Yeah, and it's interesting how over the last few years, Messi has become one of them. He's become Argentine. That thing of, he's a Catalan, really. He's not one of us. You look at him now, and he's even swearing at the opposition using Argentine street talk, and they love him for that as well. It's been a remarkable story, this Argentina thing. It's interesting that you're talking about the possible succession to Gareth Southgate, because there's no formula for this at all. And look at what's happened to Argentina. The last World Cup, under a very, very highly rated coach, they're an absolute shambles under Jorge Sampaoli. I mean, the low point was the second group game when they lost 3-0 to Croatia, today's opponents. And Sampaoli, he spends the last few minutes on the touchline swearing at the Croatian players. I remember Ozzy Ardiles going to Twitter to saying, this man he has got no class, he's got to be sacked instantly. That was a low point. They had him on a long-term contract. They got to pay him off. So they sacked him, they paid him off. Because of the Nations League, there's no more lucrative friendlies against European opposition. So they haven't got any money. So what do? They appoint on a caretaker basis Lionel Scaloni, who has never had any senior coaching experience. He's there on the coaching staff as an observer of Argentina's opponents in Russia. And he has one massive virtue. he comes very, very cheap. So you get him in on a caretaker basis, and here we are 4 years later. He's taken Argentina to their first title since 1993 when they won the Copa America last year, and now they're 2 games away from the World Cup. How has Scaloni done it? Well, one key thing is Messi. There was always a feeling in the camp that Messi, his quiet, reserved nature, self-contained nature, had an inhibiting effect on the younger players. And imagine if you get called up for Argentina, all you want to do in training is impress Messi. That's your only objective. And if he doesn't say anything, you don't really know what he thinks about you, And Messi, you wondered after Russia if he'd bother playing for Argentina anymore. And he clearly decided, yeah, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be all in. I'm going to do it in a different way. I'm going to sit down and work out what I need to do this better. And he was beginning to fall out with Barcelona at the time, and that helped because Argentina then became his number one priority. And now it's Argentina 1, Argentina 2, Argentina 3, and Paris Saint-Germain 7th. That's where it is in his list of priorities. And in the Copa America of 2019, where they lost in the semi-finals, the journos covering the Argentina team, they were saying, he's totally different. You can't shut him up now. He's vocal. He's encouraging. He's become the leader. He even talked himself into trouble in that tournament. He gave an interview when he said the whole thing was corrupt. It was like watching a striker make a tackle. He's not used to talking, so he talked so much. He talked himself into trouble. But you could see a new Messi. And I remember Di Maria. Di Maria has been with Messi for years and years and years. And Di Maria, after that tournament, he said, you know what, I like this Messi. So there was something new and something different. And that, I think, has been the heart around which Scaloni, this rookie coach, has been able to build a side that, they came in on a 36-game unbeaten run.
Yeah.
And they lost to Saudi Arabia, the first game, one of the great shocks. I think a fantastic game of football, actually. Well, and they've managed to recover from that.
And Tim, that's a great point you make. Simon and I in the hotel that night, absolutely. You remember the Argentinian supporters. They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they were gobsmacked.
They were absolutely
I was going to
shock.
ask you, Tim, about the comparison between the 86 Argentinian team and this team, because obviously the common denominator is a star player carrying a side. In 86... Maradona carried that side. They were an average Argentinian side, and he really did carry them. In this instance, is it Messi that carrying them, or is there enough substance in that side to be able to be competitive, even if Messi isn't on his best form at times?
Yeah, I think that there's a comparison to be made. There's also a difference. On that Argentina side, they play 3 at the back, and they really packed midfield. And I remember the first interview that Bobby Robson gave after they'd beaten us in the quarter-final. And it was nothing to do with controversy about the hand. He just said they were really hard to play against. They squeezed the play so much. This Argentina side are a bit more expansive. And what they want to do, it's exactly the thing that the Saudis stopped them doing. It's why it was so great what the Saudis did to them. They want, a little bit like Croatia, they want to pass the ball around the midfield. I don't know if you remember the game against Poland. And Poland were hand-picked opponents for Argentina.
Yeah.
A slow team, can't press. And so Argentina then could just build up their rhythm and pass and pass and pass and pass. And the second goal that they scored in that game, 37 passes, and it ends with the 2 youngsters combining, Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez, and a terrific goal. And that goal was like a little message saying, you know what, we're not just Messi, but it's Messi who tips the balance, although there's a player who I can't think of too many great players with less ego than Angel Di Maria. He's quite happy to be in the shadows, but when they won the Copa America last year, who scores the goal? Angel Di Maria. When they won the Olympics 2008, who scores the goal? Angel Di Maria. And him fit again, and he came on for extra time against the Dutch, and he was great, both individually. He will score a goal direct from a corner in this World Cup if the goalkeepers don't look out. He keeps trying it, and he's not far away. But also, you get these quick combinations with Messi. So it's not just about Messi, and it's a more expansive side than 86. But if you're going to put me up against a wall and say, are they going to go all the way as they did in 86? I doubt it. I think they might get past Croatia, but I'm expecting France, and I can't see them holding France. But we shall see.